A group of 60 federal lawmakers, otherwise known as G60, has declared that the members of the Rivers State House of Assembly lacked the legitimacy to amend the state's public procurement law, having ceased to exist since December last year for defecting from the PDP to APC. According to the G60, the purported veto of the powers of Governor Similaye Fubara by the group of 27 persons parading themselves as Rivers State lawmakers was nothing but legislative madness taken too far. The 60 federal lawmakers stated this while reacting to the alleged overriding of the assent of Governor Fubara to pass the Rivers State Public Procurement Amendment Bill 2024. In a statement signed by the G60 spokesperson and the member of House of Representatives representing Idato North South Federal Constituency of Imo State, Honorable Ikenga Imo Ugochinyere, the group said the veto was an unenforceable legislative rascality. Now, let me start with you, Mr. Joe. What do you make of this statement by the G60 group, Ugochinyere, to be precise?
Okay, you know that everyone has right to an opinion in this system. Everyone has a chance to, go on air and say what they feel is right and they feel should be the way things should go. But more importantly is when a group is speaking, like Ugochinyere's G60 group has just spoken, and the take is very easy. Everything we're discussing when it comes to Rivers politics is in connection to the G60 people is the Constitution. What does the Constitution say? The Constitution says that if you are supposed to be an assembly member in a party and you move from that party, you are already an illegal member of the system. And so they are only buttressing what the Constitution has spoken, already buttressing what the Constitution has expressed already. So their position expressing that the assembly members are not in cognizance with the law is correct.
Okay.
It's very correct.
Now, if I may ask, one would wonder, does the House of Rep have the legislative authority to put their mouth or interfere in the state legislative activities? Does the House of Rep have the right?
Now I said every group has the right to say an opinion. All right?
Every group has the right. But when it comes from a legislative arm of the government,
yes,
it has a different tone. It has a different influence actually on people.
We are checking what they said in relative to what is right and what is wrong.
You've made that point. My question is they are
as an opinion group.
They are right. No, hold on. You've said that what they said is in line.
It's in
line.
Now,
I'm not questioning what they have said.
Okay.
I am questioning their locus to interfere in the activities of the state assembly.
They have not interfered. They have made an opinion.
Their opinion.
They have said that G60 group, as led by Kenga, has openly said that the House of Assembly cannot do A, B, and C. It's an opinion they have expressed.
They said they are illegitimate.
I'm saying it's an opinion they have expressed.
They have passed, in their opinion, they have come out to take a stand. Don't forget that already there is a case in court.
I know.
Questioning the legitimacy of the seats of these lawmakers. Now, if a case is in court, you would expect that the legislative arm of government that made this constitution would understand the weight of a matter being in court and refrain from actually preempting the court.
Now,
isn't that what they did by that statement?
The duty of the legislature, as it is right now, House of Reps, is to come up with a position in line with the laws of Nigeria.
As against a judicial judgment?
No, they've not preempted the judiciary.
When they have gone ahead of the judiciary,
that I said, if you
say that they are illegitimate.
No, the House of Reps is not 60 persons. All right, the 60 members of that house, all right, came together and formed a team and expressed an opinion. Now, the opinion they expressed is not the opinion of the House of Representatives. It's the opinion of, they call themselves G60. All right? We are valuing the opinion, whether the opinion is correct or is incorrect, relative to what the Constitution says. And I've just told you that their stand on this matter concerning what the people at the Assembly here are doing is correct from my own point of view. All right, we have not made an opinion that has to supersede or override the judiciary, or an opinion that seems to be a law. No, that's just a faction of the 300 and plus persons in House of Reps.
A faction that can actually stir up the polity. Do you agree with me?
Of course.
So if they can stir up the polity, it means that their opinion has weight and has influence.
We analyze politics, and in politics, everybody wants to have the public opinion in their favor. Everyone wants to jostle thoughts and expressions to the point that people will feel that they are winning. And so all of that is part of the political game they play.
But do they have the locus to do that?
There's no locus about having an opinion. You can have an opinion.
I asked,
so you're infringing on anybody's right.
Does the House of Rep, faction or no faction, does the House of Rep have the locus to interfere in the business of the State House of Assembly?
When the House of Assembly in the states is no longer functional.
What is the constitutional provision for the House of Rep to interfere, or even the Senate to interfere in the activities of the State House of Assembly?
The Constitution gives that provision, but immediately the House of Assembly here is no longer effective, can no longer sit. Anything could cause that, then they'll be able to sit. The session closed. It could be security, it could be emergency, it could be anything. But if they're no longer able to sit and handle affairs, the House of Assembly functions of the state is transferred to the reps to do for them. But now the reps have not done that yet. What I just seen here is a GCC member, a few friends who have come together to say, we are in favor with these people, what these people are doing is wrong. Now, it's an opinion.
Mr. Joe, now, in your statement, in your statement, you said that the House of Rep can interfere when the State House is not sitting, correct?
Yes.
Now, I asked if there were constitutional provisions to that.
Of course.
What are the constitutional provisions?
If for the House of Representatives to be able to do the job of the Assembly of a state, the things required are, number one, the House Assembly not able to sit for insecurity purposes, for one. The state is no longer functioning, two. The third one could be crisis, basically crisis in whatever forms it comes, that does not enable the House of Assembly of that state to sit. The powers of the Assembly of that state is transferred ab initio to the House of Representatives for the period under review.
And who does the House of Rep at that point legislate for?
For the state.
Whom at the state level?
It does the job of the House of Assembly for the state at that point.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, are you aware that the House of Rep can only do that when there is state of emergency?
Any crisis that does not.
And right now, there is no state of emergency in Rivers State.
And they have not interfered.
When a House of Rep, a faction of House of Rep, comes out to interfere in the state matters, coming out to declare the State House of Assembly illegitimate is interference. Now, secondly, if a case is in court and the court says maintain status quo, you understand, maintain status quo ante bellum, what it means is that whatever opinion, whatever actions that are to be taken, for now, everybody should just stay execution. And then the people who you would expect are learned fellows, the lawmakers themselves, who should actually be the ones upholding the law that they make, to repeal or amend the law, or even create a new law, as the case may be, are the ones now coming out against a judicial instruction to maintain status quo. They now move ahead of the judiciary to declare, because what they said was a declaration, to declare that the lawmakers, the 27 lawmakers, are illegitimate. The court has not yet declared them illegitimate as it stands now. But they have moved ahead of the court to declare them illegitimate, number one, and also go ahead to say that their legislative activity is an act of legislative rascality. And I asked you, regardless of whether their opinion is right or wrong, do they have the locus? My interest is, do the G60, as it stands, whether they're a faction or not, do they have a locus
let me clear two things
to make this statement that they have made?
Let me clear two things for you. Let's not mix up things.
All right.
Number one is anybody having the right to speak on this matter anywhere like we're doing now? The answer is yes.
As an individual?
Yes,
or as a group, as a faction, a legislative faction?
No. There is no faction in the House of Reps as concerning this. What they have is, let me follow up with you. 5 persons, 10 persons, 100 persons coming together to say, you did wrong. What you are doing is rascality. You did wrong here. What you are doing is insubordination. That's an opinion of that set.
All right.
If you imagine that to be the position of the House of Representatives as it stands now, then you're not imagining correctly.
But I asked you if they have the capacity, if their opinion can hit up the polity.
They have the right to air opinions.
Hit up the polity?
Of course they will now.
You have answered my question.
Anybody can hit up polity. Even your own, even my own.
All right. Now, if their opinion can hit up the polity,
of course it can.
It means to a large extent that whatever they have said can cause further crisis.
No. It means that.
And I asked you if they had the.
No. It doesn't just mean that. Let me clear before you go to my brother. It means that people should not all sit back and watch what is happening in Rivers State to just happen and everybody hand folded.
All right.
It means that people should have a chance to speak up, chance to explain these things to people that we're doing on TV and on radios, so that Nigerians and Rivers people can understand who is getting it wrong and who is getting it right.
Okay. Now, Mr. Ugochukwu, let me come to you. What is your take on this statement by the G60 group in the House of Rep? Then the second question I want to ask you is, who are these G60 persons? If you recall, Honorable Kochinyere some time ago has come out to make certain declarations and make certain statements, and later, the same group of persons came out to, disassociate themselves from that statement and said that he was speaking for himself and not for the entirety of House of Rep members and the group, as the case may be. Now, this group has come out again to make another statement, right now interfering in the legislative functions and activities of the State House of Assembly in Rivers State. Do they have the locus to do that?
I hope I will get as much time as you have allotted, my brother. I think I'm so pleased. I'm so happy by the statement made by Ugochinyere and his school friends. It will give me a latitude of things to expose, because having made a compound statement concerning the legally constituted House of Assembly of Rivers State, because as far as we are concerned, it was the governor of Rivers State who in June inaugurated this particular House of Assembly. So Ugochinyere and the other Nigerians who go about making statements without knowing the root of the problem, for him to call duly elected members of the House, rascals, is a joke taken too far. In as much as I value the person of Ugochinyere, his charisma, his oratory, and his astute nature, before the 2023 general elections that produced him as a member representing his constituency in the Green Chambers, I've been following his antecedents, his dispositions to national issues, and since the fight he had with the governor of Imo State, Hope Uzodimma, and all the intricacies that played out before, during, and after his elections, he has, lost the soft landing and my sympathy. I'm not sympathetic to Uzodimma, but for Ugochinyere to, align himself on national issues the way I'm seeing him now, he's been biased. You know, because, yes, he's been biased because you will see in Imo State, people stood by him, people fought for him to win elections. You know, he was, they saw it as a vendetta or a witch hunt from the angle of the state governor. The people stood by him. And instead of, you know, standing by that, which we have known him, he has gone about, you know, making some inflammatory statements as it concerns, you know, issues of national polity. And again, his choice of words has been disturbing to me. You know, despite the fact he wants a platform to exhibit his mastery of the language, or maybe all the things he practiced as lawyers, as they pride themselves as learned men, is not in when it comes to things that can, you know, snowball into crisis when you come to the larger society. As a man of honor he prides himself to be, he should be guided. You know, Ugochinyere has formed a coalition of 60 lawmakers, you know, calling them the minority lawmaker. But you could see before the NWC meeting of PDP, he came out to assume a position. On that assumption of a position, all of us were waiting by the wings, you know, thinking that he was going to take the fight within that, you know, committee of PDP to make sure that he stamps his authority and his voice is heard, and let us know the position. But you could agree with me that because he has not come for such a meeting before, he's a first timer in the House and has not been privileged to, you know the intricacies of politics in Nigeria. When he got there, his voice was swallowed. Nobody heard him. And people were questioning after that NWC, where is the Ugochinyere of this world? You had it, you're a media person. People were questioning, where is the Ugochinyere that was, you know, breathing fire and brimstone, that this will happen, that Damagu will go, this and that. At the end of the day, you did not hear him. So that was what made I started overlooking him, because I was thinking he is the person that will speak out for other people to either support him or to negate his position. And you know that Chinda, who is the minority leader of the PDP in the Green Chambers, came out to say that he and his cohorts are not known to the minority leaders of the House of Representatives. He denied him. And not only the denial, where we expected his voice to reverberate, we didn't hear him. He went comatose. So he's now using the political crisis in Rivers State to, you know, try to regain his voice. And he will not allow it to stand, because he has no locus to speak for whatever is happening in Rivers State. Because if anybody will take up that, calling the attention of the House of Assembly in general for what is happening in Rivers State, he should be a member of the either House of Representatives or Senate within the Green or Red Chambers to move a motion of urgent importance, saying that there is a seeming crisis or there is impending crisis or immediate crisis in Rivers State, and it is coming from the legislative arm. I don't know if you get it. For the House to now know that the attention will be called, that a motion had been raised and it will be dealt with.
The House of Reps.
So now let me educate Ugochinyere in the three arms of government. You have the executive, you have the judicature, you have the legislative. And it is the legislature that supervises over the other two arms. The executive cannot supervise over the legislature because they make the laws. The executive, you know, turn out the proposals, and it is the powers that the legislature give them that they function with, and the judicature interprets where it is confusing. So now you find out that the legislature is the one in the midst, supervising the both. So if you come to his usage of words that the Rivers State House of Assembly has considered and led by Right Honorable Martins here, Martins Amehule, is is illegitimate, I think he's wrong, because these issues are in the purview of the court, and I don't know whether Ugochinyere is assuming the role of the judiciary in trying to make an emphatic statement on if they are still legitimate or not. Recall that everybody is running, like my brother said. He said that the Constitution has said that if you cross carpet, you have lost legitimacy. You know, after the 2023 general elections, you heard about all the hula baloo about the 25% in the FCT. But everybody waited. It was glaring. Everybody waited that without winning the FCT 25%, you cannot assume the presence, you cannot be declared the president of Nigeria. But at the end of the day, what was the interpretation of the Supreme Court? Everybody waited from the tribunal to the appeal court to the Supreme Court. At the end of the day, the Supreme Court, you know, interpreted and gave their judgment, and everybody has gone to rest. So in the case of Ondo State in 2015, you find out that that is the premise that they are hinging on, that the Supreme Court has taken a stand. But Nigeria has gone through a lot in the political space, and the Electoral Act has been amended over time, that somebody who cross-carpeted has lost. On what basis have they asked this fundamental question? Just like my brother here has. On what basis was that cross-carpeting? It is not in all cases that you will now use one position to infer another. You have to look at the law. That is why the Supreme Court cannot even come and make the pronouncement, or INEC cannot go ahead and withdraw the certificate of these assembly members, because they are waiting for another interpretation. Because it's not in all cases that you place 1 and 2, it will turn to 3. You could see that everybody is waiting for the law to take its course. Let me educate Ugochinyere. Why did the 27 honorable men defect? Prior to the 2023 general elections, my brother here, if he's familiar with the political space in Rivers State and in Nigeria, before the PDP had their presidential primaries, the PDP came together and the South assumed the position that we have supported the North a lot, and now it is our time for PDP to zone the presidency to the South. They didn't microzone it to either South, South, or Southeast, or Southwest. And in that fray, the South governors took a position that any political party that do not zone their presidency to the South will not get their backing. And some governors that are wise from the North looked at it and said, this is about fair play and justice and equity. They now aligned with their brother governors in the South. And when the coast was clear, APC came out zoning it to the South. PDP shrouded their own in secrecy. And Chief Barrister Jason Wike and the other 4 governors that formed the G5, after seeing the intricacies and interplays and then sincerity of the powers that be in the PDP, assumed the position. We are not going to allow this to stand. Don't forget the interplays that happened on the floor of on the primary day. So they now assume a position that will not continue to support illegality. Then that cumulated into a political crisis that ousted Iyoche Ayo. Iyoche Ayo gave way because they say that according to the PDP constitution, the presidential candidate and the chairman of the party will not be coming from the same zone in the country.